Yeah, by the way, it's about time you do one of these fucking things on me.
Pro wrestling is unlike anything else. If you think you got it mastered, it'll smack you in the face and you realize that you don't.
Just drove in, straight shot that 10 East, made that drive hundreds of times. Coming up on the Indies, being a SoCal guy.
I always say there's a lot of my corpses have been left in my past on little tiny hills because I used to die on a lot of small hills. I don't necessarily choose to die on those small hills. I really am smart and more aware about picking my battles. I've always loved professional wrestling and I always will, but there was a time early on where I loved professional wrestling, but I didn't necessarily like the pro wrestling business. And I didn't like it because I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. You know, pro wrestling was just my passion and my love and my drive and my life. And it was my job. And I learned, you know, kind of the hard way that this is a business and you have to treat it like a business. And I'm very aware of that now. And that's a big difference from me today compared to me 20 years ago, certainly.
To know Frankie and be around him, you know, it's a vibe. He does carry himself in that it's an old school meets new school thing. But it's just a matter of having respect for the business. You know, he knows where he came from. He came up, you know, in a very hard way, learning from Killer Kowalski, and that's never left him, you know, after all these years.
Without Killer Kowalski, I'm not sitting here right now. You know, I was 19, 20-year-old kid when I started there, and I'd driven from Southern California to Boston, Massachusetts, to Malden, Massachusetts specifically, to train with Killer Kowalski. Left my family behind. I was out on my own for the first time, terrified. And the business was very different back then. When I started, it seemed like most people didn't want me there. And I was staying at a small little motel and still looking for a place to live. And my phone rang, and it was Walter, Killer Kowalski. And he's like, "It's Walter." He's like, "Meet me outside in 5 minutes. I'm gonna pick you up. We're gonna go have breakfast." I was like, "Wow, okay." And he looks at me. He goes, "You have something." He's like, "I'm glad you're here. You keep this up. I think you can do something." And just him saying that was like, oh man, like all these insecurities and all these fears and everything just like got like just washed away. Because I'm like, Killer Kowalski just told me I have something. I've been here for, you know, 3 or 4 classes. Like, oh man, I was like, a weight was lifted off my shoulder. Like, maybe I didn't make the wrong decision. Maybe this is for me. You know, I wish I could have told him that before he passed, that specific moment. But yeah, that specific moment, that kind of encompasses what Killer meant to me and who he was as a person, as a trainer, and as a friend. It's incredible how much the business has changed from when I started to how it is now. Walking into a locker room was done a different way. Back then, it just was. When I broke in, you'd earn the right to go into that locker room. You know, nobody just walked into your locker room. You know, you got to earn that shit. It's a much more welcoming place, which in a lot of ways is good. Don't get me wrong, but it's there still needs to be the feeling that you earned it.
They're finally doing one of their little shows on somebody that actually deserves it.
What's the energy when he's in the locker room?
No, yeah, come on in. Just got this Mark filming me for this bullshit.
I think people look at Frankie and instantly just go scumbag, which I know he loves.
I'm gonna go piss. If you want, by all means, come watch me piss. Cool guys, we're shooting a dog.
There's for sure some realness to what he does.
You want to at least get audio?
Just know he's gonna tell you off for no reason.
Washing my hands. This is riveting shit here.
I think it comes from a place of tough love, let's call it.
When's the last time either one of you shit your pants? I say every grown man has a pass to shit his pants once a year.
It's integral to have a guy like Frankie to make the days fun and the time pass.
No slobs or assholes or loudmouths in here. It's good luck. Having said that, I'm still changing on myself.
He's a ball buster and I love it.
To have someone like him that just you look forward to seeing at work, it means the world. to me as somebody that just loves being one of the boys and coming to work.
As a veteran, I'm trying to get to know my locker rooms. That's why they keep me around. I'm good for morale. Oh, yeah.
I like to cut up, man. I like to have fun. I like to bust balls, as I'm sure you probably heard. But at work, it is no nonsense, man. We're here to work. We're here, we're wrestlers, but there's a reason why we're professional wrestlers. That's what separates us, is we're pros. There's only a handful of people that can do this on Earth, and we are fortunate enough to be among those. So, yeah, it's fun, and we all get along. We're having a good time, and things are rolling right now. But, dude, this is still work. We're here to get a job done, and things need to be run a certain way to get that job done. And when it comes to that, I am very serious, and I am very much no nonsense.
Frankie can do everything. He's a professional. That's what Frankie is. That's his style, is being a constant professional wrestler. And he shows up to work ready to go, and he leaves work ready to go.
Frankie's in-ring style today is kind of a mixture of everything. I think, he was somebody who was on the ground floor of that X Division style.
Let's not ignore the fact that Frankie is a day one guy here at TNA.
He's a legend, man. He really is. And he's an innovator of the style that we all wrestle today, right? Like, nobody was really wrestling this style before that crop of guys in the early TNA wave and that first wave of X Division guys.
For me personally, you'll never see a crop of talent like that again.
So many early moments in TNA stand out to me. Certainly the first ever Ultimate X match. That match has grown to be, this iconic piece of the TNA backdrop. And, I was involved in the very first one.
But you just knew that he was going to be something just by how he conducted himself, how he carried himself, and his wrestling was second to none. And I would still say there's nobody bell to bell better in wrestling right now. And he's been doing it for a long time. He's older than me, so I can say that now.
Yeah, there was certainly times I thought I was overlooked. Times that I thought, what I was doing, the work I was doing was as good, if not better than anybody else in the company at the time. My mistake, I guess I can call it a mistake now, was that I was not vocal about that. It was always, okay, just, put on your work boots and work harder. Unfortunately, in pro wrestling, that doesn't always work. That's not gonna... Sometimes it's the squeaky wheel that gets the greasing. It's not just the guy working hard and putting in the hours and putting in the time.
In wrestling, there's two types of people. People that are in this because they want to be the guy, or liars.
See, I don't know if I was ever supposed to be the guy. I mean, I've heard, it's the wrestling business, telegraph, telephone, tele-wrestler. I've heard so many rumors and rumblings and creative was talking about this, they were talking about that. But no, I've never been told, you're going to be the guy. It's strange, and honestly, I don't know if I want to be told that. I want to earn it. I don't want to be told that. If somebody thinks that of me, cool. Because I've certainly worked hard enough to become the guy, but I want to be the guy because I'm the hardest worker in the room and I've earned it.
I think that Frankie is absolutely underrated.
I don't think Frankie gets the credit he deserves, being the veteran that he is.
Yeah, against all odds, not my first against all odds.
People who are less experienced in the business might get flustered about, a particular match type or a storyline or whatever.
All you are is a joke, and I'm not laughing with you, I'm laughing at you. And tonight, I'm walking through you, and I'm going to remind you and everybody else, and you too, just why I am the king of TNA.
He's able to show up and give the same effort regardless of what the variables are.
See that? Who else travels around with a scarf bag? See, I got many colors. The Van Halen scarf. You got your yellows, you got your blues, you got your TCBs. You have a scarf bag? I bet not. You know what? You've seen too much.
It's fantastic to see the king, baby.
Having the opportunity to go out there and do commentary a lot in the last year has been, for me, some of the most fun I've had. It is really a different creative outlet. I'm verbally getting out what I want to instead of physically. It's challenging to do it. Trust me, it's not easy to do. But I've really taken to it.
You know what? I'm not in a good mood. I don't want you to start with me right now.
We all probably want to wrestle till the wheels fall off, and a lot of us do. It's just not a reality. At some point, you're not going to be able to do the things you do in the ring. And if you want to stay in or remain in the wrestling business, you're going to have to, morph into that producer, that coach, that trainer, or that commentator. That's just, that's one of the options that I potentially have. That's not even in the thought process right now. That's so far down the road for me. But again, it is one of those tools that, if I keep sharpening that particular tool of mine, I have it and it's ready to go when I need to use it.
Be honest with me, Tom. How good do I smell tonight?
I don't want to talk about what do you got?
I believe that move hurt. See what I did there? I know, that was a good one, right?
It's cool for the world to see him in a way that almost everyone that has ever worked with him sees him. I've seen him in this light for over 20 years, and anybody that's close to wrestling or has worked here closely with him understands that this is well fucking overdue.
I'm coming to terms with the fact that I have had a great career, but for me, has it been as good as it could have been? No, man, I'm not happy with where I'm at.
I still have a little bit of that chip on my shoulder that I've had since 2007, 2008, when I thought I'd done enough to position myself to be in a place that was ready to move up as a singles in this company, and that didn't happen. So, that shit sticks with you. And it certainly has stuck with me.
It's in TNA, like the standard's so super high. Like when you're on a card like this, you have to think about how your match is going to stand out, how you're going to stand out. It's kind of like a healthy competition, a friendly competition,
Joe Henry is the phenomenon of the last year, right? Like they call him the breakout star, but again, 10 years to get to where he's at.
When you're in a high stakes, big marquee match against somebody like Joe Henry, who's one of the most famous wrestlers in the world right now, you're damn right I'm going to use that to my advantage. And I know there's going to be more eyes on me, and there's going to be more eyes open to the fact that I am damn good at this, and I've been very good for very long.
To see this with Frankie come along, this match on this night, like this, just it doesn't matter. There's no title belt on the line. The importance of this is he's facing, yes, a former world champion, but he's facing someone that is larger than life at this point.
It's damn real. Look, I've said, in the past, if I have regrets, which I don't, but maybe I was too much of a nice guy. Because in this business, you got to be a prick. My whole time in TNA, dating back to 2003, I've had maybe 5 matches for the TNA World Title, and that's bullshit. Because there's a lot of people, a lot less deserving, a lot less talented than me that have had a lot more. For whatever reason, that has not been my story yet. But come hell or high water, it is. 27 years in the game, 47 years old. I'm smart enough to understand, even though I'm doing my best work, I'm in the best shape I've ever been, I understand I have more years behind me than I do in front of me. But if you think it's going to stop me from getting what I want, you're fucking crazy, because it isn't.
There will always be this kind of set of unwritten rules, and Frankie follows those to a T because people that came before him did, and people that he learned from did. And I don't think that's something that will ever go away. It will evolve and change because wrestling changes, and Frankie understands that at a very high level.
Our audience is a lot more sophisticated, and they want to, from what I understand, this is what they love. They want to hear, how we do what we do. They want the curtain to be pulled back. I can adapt with the times, and I can agree that maybe that is something that's cool to see.
I don't want anything to disrupt my train of thought at this moment. Right now, I've probably got another hour before I'm out there.
But yeah, when I started, this certainly wouldn't happen. It's just the business evolving. Good or bad, it's going to evolve, and you have to evolve with it.
Yeah, I like being in the headspace that I'm in before a match. I don't, So if we can just cool it for a while, let me do my thing. Okay?
I think for me, this is uncharted territory. It's I've now been in that quarterback position, if you will. So it's now, am I going to be able to step into a slightly different spot on the card and make things stand out in the same way? To not have the championship anymore, it's a challenge in itself.
Joe has main evented NXT pay-per-views, but pay-per-views not in the company that he is currently in and signed to, and he's been in WrestleMania.
Can I still make that statement that I am a draw, I'm somebody that brings people to the building without the championship? And if I can do that, I guess the irony is that's how you find your way back to the championship.
Frankie wants to knock him off his pedestal, but tonight he wants to take Joe one notch down and show the world how great he is.
2, 1, go!
I think he's going to push Joe to his limit, and Joe's got to really fight up an uphill battle. I think Frankie's going to give every bit of him to Joe Hendry tonight.
Me and Frankie are at a total cross section here, and we both want this win. But, you know, one of us is going to want it just a little bit more.
I was very happy with the reactions, how much hate I was getting from the fans, especially in the front row, especially the male fans, when I was insulting them because they're grown men and they're doing Joe Hendry's little hand wave thing. I love that.
People that haven't worked with him, I don't think understand how good he is. I think if you know wrestling and you watch him, you know that he's talented.
I know people are kind of chomping at the bit to see Joe and see what he's about, but like, Joe better be ready because Frankie's not messing around. Frankie's never been a world champion. He wants to be a world champion, especially here in TNA.
He's tough as they come, and that's where the old school guys were built that way.
Oh, yeah! Oh.
It's not big on the high flashy moves. It's built on the impactfulness. What they can do, what Frankie can do inside that squared circle. He knows how to make the most out of the least.
He's gonna give out.
I loved how into Joe they were. I loved at one point, there was, at the very end of the match, I had my submission, my chicken wing locked in on him. Those people were so behind Joe. It was like, it got deafening. We blur the lines, obviously, all the time. That's what we do, you know, but like, I've always said, if you don't want to be a champion as a pro wrestler, then get the hell out.
What he did 5 years ago is different than what he would do now. And that's because he's evolved and changed. And if you don't evolve and change like he has, or anybody that's done it for a significant amount of time, you die. Because you become stale. He's never done that. He's always evolved with wrestling and how it's evolved.
I spent a long time not being selfish. I've said it since I came back to TNA. This time it's about me. It's about what I want, my goals, my dreams, my aspirations to become TNA World Champion, to be the guy. You know, there was a time early on where the TNA World title seemed like just a pipe dream. Like, okay, you know, I can be the X Division champion, I can be tag champion, I can do these things, and I can have these moments and be the utility guy and the go-to guy and the guy they put with anybody because he can work with anybody. But, you know, now the TNA World title is very, very much a reality for me. It's so much of reality for me that it's almost become an obsession. Like, that has to happen. It's not a matter of is it gonna, like, for me, it has to happen.
And the number one thing is just watch anything he's done in the last 5 years.
Just like I do after every big match, you know, exhilarated, happy, on a high, euphoric. It's a reminder that I still very, very much love doing this because it comes from here. That 15, 20 minutes I'm out there, I control that. Nobody else. Not the office, not the fans, not my peers. That's mine.
I think this might be the best version of Frankie Kazarian ever, and that's saying a lot because he's been great at this for over 25 years, and this is the best version, and we're getting to watch it in real time. It's fucking awesome.
No, it's no promo. This is not... You see a script around here? No. This is not. This is 100% me. This is me just coming from a match, walking down the ramp. A little tired, long day, exhausted, we all are. Giving you my thoughts, man. Giving you my perspective, giving you what has taken me nearly 3 decades to learn.
I always tell young wrestlers, when you start in pro wrestling, you're handed a tool belt. Nothing in it, just a tool belt. You learn how to wrestle. You learn the craft of professional wrestling, holds, counter holds, all that goes with it. That's a tool. You go along, you learn how to work a crowd. You learn how to work as a good guy, as a bad guy. It's another tool. You learn how to work on television, completely different beast. That's another tool. So I said the objective at the end of your career, you want that tool belt completely full. No room for anything else. My tool belt's pretty full at this point. But what's not full is where I keep my championship belts. That's why I'm still doing this. That's why I'm dedicated in the gym. That's why I'm dedicated with my diet, my training, and my nutrition. That's why I make guys 20 years younger than me look like shit. Because I'm in better shape than them. I can outwork them. I can outgo them. Yeah, and it's a lot of people say that these buzzwords. I'm passionate about it. I want, that's easy to say. Go out and fucking do it. I'm passionate about playing bass for Metallica. It's never gonna happen, because I know that's not how I was positioned in life. I know I'm not on that level. I'm not on the level below that. What I am passionate about, what I am at the top, is pro wrestling. And yeah, this is me after any match, man. Yes, TNA, the big stage, yeah. Find me in Tickle Butt, Idaho, at an indie. I'll be just as passionate because I love this shit. Again, that stuff I do in the ring, that 15, 20, 25 minutes, that's mine. That's mine. That's what I leave to this business. I've always said I want to leave this business better than how I found it. The same way Killer Kowalski passed on to me all the tools he learned. And he told me to leave the business better than I found it. And I love Killer Kowalski. And I'm going to do anything to get his approval. Dude, I just wrestled in front of a loud, rowdy crowd. A TNA pay-per-view. Never happier.
I have nothing profound to say. I don't have any eloquent Mark Twain crap that, I want this. I'm a kid from a very small town in the middle of the desert in Southern California that had a dream to become a professional wrestler. I wasn't a great athlete. I wasn't big. I wasn't fast. I wasn't strong. What I had was drive and determination and heart. And what I still have is drive and determination and heart. And those three things have carried me through an incredible business and an incredibly difficult business. You can remember Frankie Kazarian as a guy that you can never, ever count out.